This time on Roadworthy Rescues, I get a 60 El Camino back on the road for the first time in 30 years. Ooh. Next stop, Cadillac Ranch. This is gonna be really cool. This week on Roadworthy Rescues, a guy has found himself in the panhandle of Texas, where I bought this 1960 Chevrolet El Camino. Plan is I don't have one. I do want to get it running, clean it up, put it back on the road, however, for the first time in 20 years. Now, most people are familiar with the El Camino, but don't really know a lot about them. It was a knee-jerk reaction to the wildly successful Ford Ranchero, which came out in '57. This is a first gen built on the Biscayne platform. So let's go ahead and walk around this rig, see what it's gonna take to put this thing back on the road. And I think we'll start in the back here because the whole truck, car, trark thing we got going on. Well, one of the first things I'm noticing is a lack of rust. It's alarming. I'm not used to that, but we'll take it. The other thing is it's been painted. It was this pretty teal color, which a lot of them were. It's been two-toned at some point in its life. Back here on the business side, we got a plate last registered in '94. We got a brake juice bottle. It means we don't got brakes, that's weird. And then I'm noticing a bullet hole back here. We got shattered glass in the back and bullet holes in the front. That tells me we are, like I say, in Texas. So it was target practice. All right, let's jump in the cabin of this thing, see what we got going on the inside. Okay, wow. Smells like a baby changing table with antique store dust on it. It's tantalizing. It's kind of nice, actually. Grandma's carpet, looking pretty good. Check this out. I heard about them swiveling seats. What about the fully removable? There is no hardware, holes in the floor, anything. There is this Jurassic Park skull, though, that I'm going to make a necklace out of. Rip, rip. Welcome to Roadworthy Rescues. I love these gauges. 59 and 60 were basically the same. This one shows 82,655 point dose miles. Don't have an ignition stick. Oh, don't need one. You know, the 40s through mid-60s GM cars, they all do that. We got an Automagical based on this. Looks like a Power Glide. These came with a manual Power Glider 3-speed. We got the best of them, in my opinion. The manual would be cool, but maybe not, because I'm lazy. All right, let's get under the hood. Okay, well, this is not a 283, and it's definitely not a 348. Those were the two V8 options. And it's not a straight 6. This has been swapped at some point. It's got corporate blue paint on the head and the block down here, so that tells me right away that it's a 77 to 82 Chevrolet small block. It's got the modern clutch fan on it. It's got a 2-barrel to a 4-barrel intake adapter. That's different. Normally you want all the barrels. Still on points, lightning hoses. It's got brake booster with just the single pot of death over here. May have to address that. Those can get a little sketchy, but it's all here. Let's see what it's got for oil. Conventional 1030, no gas, no antifreeze. That's good. But we got all the fixings here to hopefully make this thing run. Where I'm going to start is throw a wrench on the crankshaft, make sure this thing rolls over. Oh, she's turning. Then we'll throw a lightning cube in it. Get out of here. Install. Test the ignition. My voltage meter says that's good. We got gen and oil light. Let's see if it cranks. No. Let's see if it cranks. No. Now we know why it was parked. Probably needs a starter. Holy cobwebs. We need a spiderologist on the show so they could tell us what we're, ruining our lives on. So I was just laying under here eating spider webs and just noticed this is not a power glide. The column indicates it was originally, but when they swapped in this engine, along came with it a TH350. So now we have 3 gears instead of 2. So that's pretty cool. We got glass packs. Then we'll be full of stuff. So first step, take a look at the starter. And I got my Lone Wolf 6000 trigger. Rebuilding starter. I think we do in fact have a bad starter. Okay, well, let's put a starter in. So this is our bad starter here. It's not starting anymore. And I just wanted to show you quick, there are some different bolt patterns. See, this one is directly across. That would be for like typically an older block style. This one is diagonal, not directly across. Thankfully, Chevrolet is really, really good about parts interchangeability. And in some cases, these blocks are actually drilled for both provisions, which this one is. So all we had to do was pick up another long bolt. We should be able to mount this in, has the same tooth count and everything like that. And a guy went on ahead and put new battery cables on as well. Those ones are from the Nixon administration. If all goes well, should be able to climb in and twist the screwdriver, and this thing should rotate on its own. Starter's working, needs shimmed. It needs shimmed. That's fine. I don't mind taking it off again. Bring me a high love. Synthesizer. Well, the good thing is it's getting colder, and it's actually snowing in Texas currently. While we're dealing with the starter here, and I have to eat crow. I said that these starters will just bolt right in and everything will work. I failed to mention there are flex plate differences. Most commonly you have a 168 tooth. We have a 153, which is smaller and requires a different starter. But see how this bolt is offset farther from the center than this one. So we're gonna have to get the correct one so it'll work with our flex plate. We're gonna give her a go. This should hopefully spin her over. Nope. Oh, you can't make this up. Starter solenoid is bad or something. How? Why? Why? Starter coming out for the 19th time. I think our new starter's bad. That's what's supposed to happen. Not shorts and sparks. So, new starter, wrong style, great. New starter, right style, bad. Can I take new starter solenoid onto that one? Well, I don't know. We could ruin both of them. If this works, I get a margarita mixer on set. That's all I'm saying. Ice machine, blender, 5 to 6 flavors, crushed or cubed ice, bendy straws, and we could just use Dixie cups because, you know, budget. Charge. Ha ha! Got it. So this guy shorted out junk. Now I get to put it in for, what are we on, 17 installs? Can't buy new parts anymore. You can't trust them. Can't trust them at all. I have never fought a starter like this in my life, I don't think. Here. The battery's still hooked up there. It smells like burning eyebrows down here. Oh wait, it is. I'm gonna throw something down here. It's either gonna fire off or it's not. And if it doesn't, then we don't have spark. All right. Bring the thunder. Yes. Boom. Let's go. Oh, I'm kidding. We got a lot of work to do. This sounds great. It's not knocking. It's not smoking. Yes. You know, other than the 17-day starter battle, it was pretty easy, actually. Wait, maybe I should test the transmission first. Oh. There we go. Yeah, nice soggy reverse with a little bit of drive. Man, we're golden. Smells like someone spilt ATF. Well, the El Camino down here in snowy Texas runs. So that means just make it run even more gooder. We're gonna clean this thing up, tear off this 2-barrel intake and the point system, put a 4-barrel back on it, bigger carburetor, HEI conversion, Craigslist rebuild, the whole 9 yards, and bomb this thing around Texas and find that big 72-ounce steak. Let's dig in. Oh, clean separation. Okay. It's pretty clean. We're getting ready to put the new intake on. Just a little tech tip, because tricks are for kids. These little rubber thingies, do not use them. They have little provisions to snap into the block all cute like, but 99.643% of the time, these squish out after some time and create massive oil leaks on the front or rear of your engine. So throw these away. And then we're just gonna use some room temperature vulcanization cream and just kind of weld in our own bead, front and rear about 1/4 inch, and then we'll plop on our new intake. It goes a little something like this. This is an HEI distributor, so we could just apply 12 volts to this. It's got an internal coil, everything's contained right here. We could just slide this in and then we can get rid of that external coil and the points and all of that stuff, which obviously worked, and they worked pretty decent, but these just have good reliability and longevity. Pulling all the sparkulators, massive oil, carbon, soot. So we're gonna pretend we didn't see that and just jam a new one in there. Well, we snazzed up our engine a little bit here. Now, obviously, we didn't have to do this, but, you know, we wanted to add a little bit of torque, a little bit of power, and ultimately, we want to cruise around Texas, so we want to have that. We did that with an air gap dual plane intake here, and then we put the 600 Holley 4-barrel on here with electric choke. We got the HEI in here, and of course, you had to go with the chrome kit. Might get us home, probably not. I got a little bit more to finish up, some wiring, some vacuum lines, but we're running out of daylight and the real feel is now 8 degrees, starting to get a little chilly. So I think we're gonna call it for tonight. See you in the morning. Well, I did make it back to Amarillo by morning. In here in the garage with the 60 El Camino in snowy Texas. We had a snowstorm yesterday. That was kind of bizarre. We're gonna try to get this thing running and idling today, but I've got a lot of work to do, and I think I'm gonna start with the fuel system actually. So there's a hard line running from the tank up to the cross member here. Then it goes into a rubber line to the actual fuel pump. I'm gonna rip that rubber line off, and I'm gonna put a new line in with a filter in place. So if we do start pulling rust and Legos and chicken legs, it'll get stuck in the filter and not the pump. And then I'm gonna run a new soft line here with another filter before it gets to our new fancy fuel make it happener. Don't wanna fill that full of gunk. So it's a race to see which breaks first. My hands from cold or these old rotten lines, basically. Here we go. Oh, what a cream puff. Not pumping yet. Still not pumping. Uh-oh. Not looking good. Confirmed it's flux. Look, truck, not car. Also, I was just laughing at myself yesterday. 1994 is 30 years, not 20. Right where I want to go, in Amarillo, I sit. There's 2 fuel tanks. What am I looking at? This could be our issue here. And then we got some copper line. Well, there might be a switch up here. Found it. There's a ball valve that switches tanks. So now this got really complex because that runs to here and then to both tanks. I put fuel in the stock tank, but which one is that? I don't know. Now I got to dig through all of this, try to figure out what's going on. It's like Thompson water seal. Here's the deal. The actual fuel tank, the real one, is plugged. So when I hook my line to the second tank and watch, I can blow straight through. So now we're gonna try to figure out how to put fuel in that second tank that's in there, saving us 58,912 hours labor, and most importantly, cost on parts. I don't understand. How do you fill it? Found it. Truck bed. It means this tank hasn't been used in a very, very long time because it's covered in wood. There's got to be a better way. What, you've never shoveled your truck bed before? Aha! Gas cap. Everything's fine. I've just been thinking about this. Theorizing. This thing has a hidden auxiliary fuel tank and a small block. That gets 15 miles to the gallon on the high. Why would you need so much fuel unless you didn't want to stop for fuel? And this thing was clearly shot at from behind. Maybe this was transporting some sort of items. You know what I mean? I don't know, just saying. We are down by the border. So now I'm gonna go underneath, drain what's in there. It looks like beef broth. Put some fresh fuel in, see if I could pull that to the front, and boom, we got a fuel system. Watch out, Joe. Now I'm moving on to the cooling system quick. Gonna get out this old Harrison rad. All the fins are bent over and folded, and it's crusty and corrody. We'll jam in an aluminum one, and that'll also help keep this performance engine nice and cool. Well, ain't that snazzy? That's slicker than pig poop on a pump handle, I ain't kidding you. Went right in. So here's where we're at here on this El Camino. We've got the oil change now. We've got a air gap intake, 4-barrel carburetor, HEI distributor, a little bit of chrome, new aluminum rad, spliced into transcooler lines. We've got new fuel lines. We've got it hooked to a mysterious fuel tank in the back that takes a shovel to access. And I think we're ready to go ahead and try to fire this up again, see if the head gaskets work, all of that stuff. Bring the thunders. Oh yeah, new starter too. How did I forget that? It seems to be pulling fuel. So all the old oil and grease and 58 gallons of ATF that I spilled, it's cooking off of the manifold. It's how you can tell it's warming up. It's an indicator. It's real nice, you should try it. See if the timing's close. Oh. Telling you, a guy's ear meter is dialed. It's barely even smoky in here. So here's the deal on the brakes. There are none. Weird, right? So we've got the single pot of death over here. It is a boosted unit, which is pretty cool, but I'm gonna try to upgrade the brakes to at least disc front. So we'll have disc front brakes, drum rear brakes. It'll make it quite a bit more safe and more fun to drive. But that's going to be quite a bit of work. We're going to have to try to convert all of this to a modern master cylinder like this one. This one's a 4-port master cylinder, which requires quite a bit of bleeding in 2 separate functions, and we'll cross that bridge when the river gets here or whatever. But first, we're going to try to put this in. Here we go. Joe, where's the 5/8? Ah! The instructions are a little bit vague when it comes to the rod and pedal assembly. The kit says, just take the rod out and put it in your new master cylinder and you have brakes. It's easy. Well, this is our rod, and clearly it's significantly too short to reach the pedal arm and actually plunge the master cylinder. So before I cut up the other rod we have, we're going to try to bolt this onto this, which looks not even remotely right. But I've discovered through methods of using my finger as a tape measure that the rod protrudes roughly the same distance as needed with the old one. What makes it more difficult is this piston is stuck down. So long story short, there's absolutely no precision. I'm just hacking miscellaneous parts together to try to make juice come out of this so the tires stop turning. If this doesn't work, then I'm going to cut everything into pieces and make my own brakes. Somehow, some way, I think this bled. So we're going to keep rolling with it. What I'm going to do, instead of replumbing the entire truck, because we're moving the discs up front, leaving the drums in the back. Right now there's just T-blocks in here, and I'm going to jump these. So right now I've only got this one line, and then I'm going to run this down. It already tees and goes to the left front wheel and the right front wheel, but over there it also tees and goes to the back. I'm going to plug that, run one line in the rear to a proportioning valve, and that allows us to increase or decrease the brake action in the rear, which is awesome because we can turn them off if we want to accidentally hold the brake and gas pedal at the same time. And then basically all I got to do is just run that one line over to where that T was, boom, we're done. And then I can actually start on putting in the calipers and rotors and all of that stuff. All that work to just put this on the front. Okay, me and Joseph are gonna go have a drink. Come on, Joe. Well, the guy stayed last night until I lost light, but I was able to get all of the brake line hard lines plumbed. We have all of the brakes, except they don't currently work. Today now I've got to jack this up, get the front tires, wheels off, blow apart the drums, basically strip this thing all the way down to the spindle, and then rebuild it with the dinner plate brakes and the caliper and rubber soft lines and all that stuff. It's going to be a long day of keeping my hands warm, keeping them busy, and hopefully here we're going to get some disc brakes in the front. I heard a rumor there's a 72-ounce stake somewhere around these parts. We're going to drive this thing there. I am bound and determined. Let's dig in. Rebuilding. Wow, this one's got some spray on it. Trying to get the bracket try figured out. This is going to hold the caliper. We'll be sliding the disc on. I don't know, I'm not used to these fancy brakes. The dinner plate. Captain's log, garage in Texas. I love brakes. Biggest lie told this year so far. Bam! One disc brake complete. Needs to get worn in a little bit. Still need to bleed it, but now I'm gonna move to the other side, rinse and repeat. Time to put some good rubber on this car because we got to let it down and roll it forward so I get to the back. So we might as well show you the tires and wheels we're going to be going with. And there's a particular style I'm going for, which is 70s on this rig. We got this wheel and tire combo here. These are, I believe they're a 235/60. We're going to get rid of these and go with the classic Krager. But with the kicker, look at the red stripe tires. These are a 225/70/15. Slightly taller, but that's because we're going to go with a 255 in the back. I think these are going to look awesome. Let me throw these on quick. There we go. They seem to fit. Boom! Okay, good enough. Let's go. This glass is terrible. Every time I wipe this, there's another crack. We're gonna go for a test ride in the Texas El Camino here. Engine's dolled up, running pretty good. Well, it's rolling. First time on the road in 30 years. That's something, actually. Front tire's rubbing. Okay, we'll ignore that for now. Wish the front windshield was as clear as the back one. Motor seems to run pretty good though. Second gear. Second gear. There's second gear. It shifted. It's getting better. You just got to drive these old rigs. They'll come back around on you. I don't know who this guy is, but I'm pretty sure I'm related to him based on how he's dressed. And I don't think he's leaning. You see, he's saying my back hurts. It runs, it drives, it shifts, it steers, everything rubs, it's terrible, it's sloshy, and there's no brakes. So this drive's going really good. So the front tires were rubbing on our test drive every time I would turn them, basically. The disc brake kit moved the tires out 7/8 of an inch. I think that's what might have caused that interference. So I did an alignment and made sure that we had more room by just cutting the bottom of the fenders off. Well, Gary from Canyon Glass is here to put glass in the El Camino. We actually found some at Classic Industries, and those guys helped us out big time, hustled and got it here. Unfortunately, the forklift driver, while unloading the windshield, dropped it on the ground. It looks like the front one we have now, but we're still gonna get a back glass in, so it's more-ish, kind of legal-ish for the road. Gary, you done this before, these old curb glasses?
I've done a few. I have not done an El Camino this old.
Wow.
I've done a 68 and a 70
Okay.
for a buddy.
Well, I admire you, because I look at it and go, nope.
Yeah.
So good luck.
Yep. All right, we're just kind of wanting to take the chrome off here and kind of inspect the pinch weld here. There is some rust, but I don't think it's going to hinder us because this is a rubber set method. It's got the rubber gasket on it. So once we get it cleaned up, get this all off, we'll apply the gasket to the windshield, and we do what we call a rope in. The rope pulled the lip of the gasket over the edge of the pinch weld, which was really common on the older cars and stuff.
Well, the fellers at Canyon Glass made easy work of this back glass in the truck. I probably wouldn't have attempted that myself, but they got it right in. Looks great. Thanks a lot for getting it in.
You bet.
All right, take care. Appreciate you.
Thanks.
All right. Since it'll stop and it'll go, let's get the hood back on this, run it down to a car wash, wash 30 years of filth off of this thing so we can start working on the exterior looks. There we go. Brake check, mazel. Oh yeah, we skid. Oh, look at all the dirt flying out of the back. We really loosened her up. All right, what do we got? Lava. That doesn't sound good. Bug prep, we need that. Blasters, yes. Triple wheel scrubber. Okay, we're going with the big dog. Here we go. Such a bad idea all of a sudden. Okay. Yep. There we go. Now we're scrubbing. Hopefully the windshield doesn't cave in. Okay. So far so good. Now get that tailgate done. Oh no, here comes the high pressure. Oh, it's off, never mind. This is a very confused car wash machine. What is happening? Excuse me, what are you doing? Oh, it's a wheel scrubber. Never been in something like this in my life. Watch the paint up here, why is it so close? This one's just flapping around. This one's gouging the fender in. That one's doing nothing, you're fired. Oh. Okay, we got some colored stuff. That's not much foam for 15 bucks. Look at the side windows. That's not much foam for 15 bucks. I don't think that's gonna clean it. This is a really lazy, oh wow, this is like a different color foam of some kind. Oh, okay. No, spot-free rinse. Well, I'm seeing spots everywhere. Rip off. That'll dry the tires off. We just got kicked out of that car wash. That's all right. I was gonna ask for a refund anyway. Junk. Well, car wash, not successful. Testing our first burnout. Not terribly bad. Not terribly bad. Too nice and tired to be doing burnouts though. So we got the Vice Grip Garage gloss wipe on clear coat here, and then we'll throw in our clear coat catalyst, mix it up. Then all we have to do is just take this applicator pad, and just wipe this on. Nice even strokes. A little goes a long way with this. You don't have to mix a whole can. And this thing is gonna be shining in no time. Oh, wow. Clear coat everything. Well, there you go, that easy. We've got clear coat on the El Camino. Talk about a transformation. It looks awesome. Gonna go ahead and drive it back into the garage and let it dry for the night. See you tomorrow. Well, good morning. Back on the El Camino. It's time to lower this thing improperly, goodliest. The wrong way. We're gonna do our best to do it the wrong way. Using the torch. We're gonna heat the coil springs up, apply some pressure, bounce it. Let me know when something's on fire. Should be able to drop this thing 2-3 inches easily, because right now it's all kind of tooted up. We don't want that. Gotta seat it. Bop, 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 bop. Another successful lowering job. Now it's got a little bit of a rake. We can show off those beautiful Kragers. It's looking good, but I got pieces of rat bones and bags blowing around in the cab. Power bait, power nuggets. The only thing they baited was more rats. Let's take this old yucky carpet out, try to put some new carpet in, clean up the interior. Man, it stinks in here. It's terrible. Oh, wow. Look at all the rust. The cab is completely separated. You can see outside. It's not even hooked to the floor. There's about a 1 inch to 3 1/4 inch gap along the whole back of the cab here. And being this is a unibody, it's gonna take some work, you know, to patch this up. It needs a floor pan, have to fabricate some stuff in here. So we're gonna go ahead and fix this. Otherwise, water's gonna keep coming in. It's gonna ruin the carpet. So we're gonna do a little fabrication here. All right. Oh, a little high on the heat over here. Gotta get a nice bead. That is some pretty solid metalwork. Fixed. I'm gonna go ahead and fix this up too. Nice. Well, the guys fought through brake issues, mismatched parts, bad parts right out of the box, but the fun time is finally here, jumping this El Camino. Go cruise around Texas, see what we can find. There's a lot to see. We're not gonna see it all, obviously, but I've got a few spots in mind. So when a guy found this El Camino in Texas here, it had been off the road for 3 decades, 30 years. And it didn't need a ton of work, but we got her fired up. And it's not perfect. And yeah, I cut corners, and there's things we could have done better, but we did it on a budget. We did it in a few days. And that's the point, getting these old cars back on the road where they belong instead of just rotting away. So now we get to enjoy this old rig, go cruise around. We got some scenery coming up here. I think we might even try to find the Cadillac Ranch. The fucking cars in the old bean patch. There's a fire in the barn and the place stays packed. Now they call it the Cadillac Ranch. I'm actually really surprised at how straight this thing drives and how well it actually well, first of all, it's a 1960 math. That's a lot of numbers, old, right? And then we torched the springs, and I'm telling you, it ain't that bad. I gotta be honest. Just like a whippersnapper right off the showroom floor. How fast are we going? 60. Oh man, paint's gonna peel off. This poor thing, after sitting all these years, threw it right on the highway, clipping 60, no issues. It's just incredible. It's only gonna start running better as we go too. You gotta get these things out and blow the webs out of them. Ooh. We're gonna swing into the baby Grand Canyon. That looks awesome. Oh, this is cool. So I'm at a scenic outlook here. It's absolutely breathtaking. There's several more miles of road that go through here, but if you look over yonder, it's like a 10% grade with like hairpin turns back and forth. I think I'm good right here. You know, because no seat belts here. The seat's also not bolted in and stuff like that. No big deal. This is good enough. Next stop, Cadillac Ranch. So this is really, really cool. A guy actually got permission to drive the El Camino into the field right up next to the Cadillacs. It's just all fins. This is gonna be really cool. Check this out. We made it to a Cadillac Ranch. We were actually able to pull right up to them. Look at all the beautiful fins back here. Love these things. We found this 60 El Camino tucked away in a garage. It's been off the road for 30 years. And after a fight with the starter of 3, she fired right up. We had to use a shovel to find our mystery fuel tank back here. Then we were able to start throwing upgrades at this thing. New 4-barrel intake, carburetor, HEI upgrade, cooling system upgrade with an aluminum rad up there. Of course, we had to throw some chrome on this thing to help us get here. Added a few horsepower as well. We got a front disc brake version on this thing. Beautiful Krager wheels, red line tires, and then we topped it off with that Vice Grip Garage gloss clear coat. This thing looks amazing. It drives amazing. We bombed it down the interstate allegedly faster than the posted speed limit. It's an awesome, awesome rig. I'm gonna hang out here for a few minutes with Cadillac. Of course, I'm gonna tag it up with some roadworthy rescues. And I'm gonna find me a 72-ounce steak right down the road here. I don't know how to spell and paint. I could not be a graffiti artist, I'm telling you that. What is that? That's gonna do it for this episode of Roadworthy Rescues, but stay tuned, there's plenty more to save.
That is a face.
It's a Labras production.
A door
For me one and only Joker.
to another existence.
I'm bringing the heat.
It's a
You know.
pause
I always do.
in the long journey of the soul on earth.
I'm not a jack in the box, but I'm able to surprise you. If it's a sister of life and that bitch might find you. Be careful not to get caught, you might lose your mind too. So many intelligent thoughts and I got a whole mindful. I'm coming for my riches, I just had to remind you. My diamonds on fleek and that fleek might blind you. What you sow is what you reap, hope the demons won't find you. They're hunting your tracks, I guess I had to take flight too. I think I'm in a trap, she got me in detention. I asked her what I did, she didn't ever wanna mention. She noticed some change, she said I needed lessons. She told me drop it like this, all I added is suspension. I'm not alone, some has lost his souls. Looks might be receiving, but the story must unfold. Too many mysteries, left the mysteries untold. I might be loony too, cause I'm chasing some gold. Yeah, 2K carats, you know. Yeah. I like I have 2 minutes left. 2 minutes? Check this out. What am I about to